What if the apple in your kitchen wasn't meant to be a casual snack at all, but a broom for your body, sweeping a century's worth of metabolic ash out of your gut so your internal pilot light can burn clean again? That's the image at the center of Cayce's lost protocol for longevity. And today I'll walk you through the two-part ritual the readings describe. A short, clarifying apple fast, followed by a precise 2-minute internal wash that the tradition claims helps relight metabolic tone. If you're willing to try a focused 1-week experiment, type "I ignited" in the comments now and join the test. The source here is the readings of Edgar Cayce, often referenced in the lineage work on therapeutic cleanses. Some older copies render his name as Cayce, but the accounts we're using trace back to Cayce's guidance and to later practitioners who preserved this apple and iodine practice as a ritual for resetting digestion and metabolic feeling. Important note up front. This is presented as a traditional protocol, not a medical prescription. If you are pregnant, nursing, have diagnosed thyroid or other endocrine disorder, are on endocrine medications, including thyroid meds, have diabetes, or are under clinical care for any chronic condition, consult your health provider before attempting any element of this practice. Part 1. The Apple Phase. The readings describe a 3-day apple-only fast, simple, austere, and sensory. The recommendation from lineage notes is to choose organic Jonathan or similar heritage apples, or any organic crisp variety you respond to. There's ambiguity in the old notes about exact cultivars, so choose whole organic fruit if possible. For 3 days your intake is apples and water only. That means apples as your sole source of food during waking hours, with water between apples as needed for thirst. The purpose here, in the tradition's language, is to let the intestines and digestive surfaces shed accumulated ash and soft debris, an internal clearing so the next, more precise step can have a cleaner canvas. How to do it practically? Buy a selection of organic apples, wash them, and keep them within easy reach. Eat slowly. Let each bite be mindful. Notice the crispness, the sweetness, the way your jaw and breathing settle. If you're hungry, have another apple. There is no hard caloric rule in the lineage notes. This is a short, intentional fast built around a single whole food. Hydrate with room temperature filtered water throughout the day. At the close of the 3rd day, the readings recommend a modest finishing dose of olive oil, enough to be a little slick on the tongue, taken mindfully to signal a gentle move back toward fat absorption. The lineage doesn't specify exact milliliters. Call it a small spoonful by tradition, and consider a neutral-flavored extra virgin olive oil. If you have known fat digestion issues or are on dietary restrictions, consult your clinician before this olive oil step. The apple phase has a felt logic in the ritual's language. Imagine a hearth that's been used for years. Soot and ash collect in the chimney and begin to smother the pilot light. The apple fast, in this metaphor, is a broom sweeping the chimney, clearing sticky residue in the gut, so signals between the metabolic pilot light, the thyroid, and the quieter regulator, the pineal, in the tradition's model, can move more freely. This is a conceptual model, rather than a promise of clinical reversal. The readings suggest the gut cleanse reduces impediments to normal metabolic signaling. Modern physiology is more complex, but the ritual's aim is to create a simple, low-variety reset that is easy to observe. Part 2. The internal wash, the part that is precise and ritualized. This is where that famous single drop appears. The preparation referred to in the readings is often called atomic iodine, sometimes rendered atomidine in later notes. These terms are traditional names used in lineage texts. They are ambiguous and not a clinical prescription. If you consider ingesting an iodine preparation, consult a licensed clinician first, especially if you have thyroid disease, take thyroid or other endocrine medications, or are pregnant or breastfeeding. Do not alter or stop prescribed medications to try this ritual. If you've confirmed with a provider that a traditional 1-drop ritual is permissible for you, gather these materials. A small glass vessel, the tradition prefers glass rather than plastic, room temperature filtered water, and the iodine preparation you've discussed with your clinician. The ritual steps, as preserved in the lineage, are exact and meant to be performed slowly. 1. Pour half a glass of room temperature filtered water. Keep the glass comfortable in your hands. 2. Place a single drop of the iodine preparation into the water, only 1 drop. Do not measure beyond a single drop. This is the traditional gesture. 3. With your hand on the glass, give a gentle clockwise swirl. The readings emphasize a calm clockwise motion. Do not stir violently. This is a ritual gesture meant to mix the drop evenly without agitation. 4. Bring the glass to your lips and begin a rhythmic sipping sequence that lasts 2 minutes. The cadence is roughly 1 sip every 5 to 8 seconds, slow, small sips that match diaphragmatic breathing. Keep your shoulders soft. Breathe low and steady between sips. The goal is a measured, attentive 2 minutes, not a rush. 5. After 2 minutes, set the glass down and rest for a moment, noticing any warmth, taste, or subtle sensations. The tradition describes gentle warmth or a sense of grounding rather than dramatic effects. If you experience anything alarming, palpitations, significant flushing, tremors, severe nausea, or any acute distress, stop immediately and seek medical attention. Timing and schedule. Perform this internal wash for 5 consecutive mornings, then take 2 mornings off. Repeat that 5 on 2 off cycle as desired. The rationale in the lineage is that repetition builds small, cumulative shifts, precision, force. The 1-drop ritual is not meant to be frequent beyond the prescribed pattern without clinical guidance. Safety again, prominently. Do not attempt the internal wash if you have diagnosed thyroid disease, such as Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism. If you are taking thyroid or other endocrine medications, if you are pregnant or nursing, or if you have been advised against iodine ingestion by a clinician. Consult your health professional before any iodine practice. This ritual is not a substitute for medical care. If at any point you notice palpitations, flushing, tremors, dizziness, or severe gastrointestinal upset, stop and contact a medical professional immediately. What to watch for? The first week tracking. To know whether this concentrated week is producing subtle changes, collect 3 simple metrics each day on a 0-10 scale, plus a 1-line clarity note. Start tracking at the beginning of day 1, the first apple day, and continue through 7 days total. Use a paper notebook or a simple note app. Bloating. 0, none, 10, hyper, severe. How your abdomen feels after your main daytime period. Morning energy. 0, flat, exhausted. 10, bright, ready. A simple rating for the first 2 hours of the day. Clarity note, 1 line. A short mood or mental clarity observation, e.g., sharper focus at 10 a.m. or anxious mid-afternoon. Look for trends rather than single-day miracles. Many people in the tradition report noticeable shifts by day 3 and a clearer trend by day 7. Record not to prove a cure, but to cultivate awareness. Habit architecture breeds insight. A few practical cautions and clarifications. The readings use some ambiguous terms and historical shorthand. Atomic iodine, or atomodine, are lineage names, not vetted medical product titles. The apple variety names in old notes are not always consistent. Choosing organic Jonathan or a similar heritage apple is a reasonable way to honor the lineage while staying practical. The use of glass, clockwise swirl, and the single drop ritual are ritual specifics rooted in tradition. They are meaningful as precise gestures, not because they confer mystical guarantees. If you decide to try this week, be humble about interpretation. This protocol is experiential and modest. It asks you to do small things with attention. The apple fast clears. The 1-drop wash is the strike that aims to relight a steady pilot light. The tradition frames the thyroid as the hearth's pilot light and the pineal as a quieter regulator in a conceptual loop, what the lineage calls a thyropineal relationship. That phrasing is traditional shorthand for a functional idea, not a clinical mechanism. Think in metaphors. Clear the chimney, then let a measured spark find its place. At the end of your 7 days, look at your recorded scores. Did bloating trend down? Did morning energy tick up by 1 or 2 points? Did your clarity note contain a specific line you can repeat as evidence of change? If so, leave a one-line comment under this video, concise, less bloating, or more energy. If you're joining the experiment now, again type, I ignited below, so others know you're participating. Final reminder, this is a traditional protocol preserved in the Cayce lineage. It is presented as a ritualized practice for people seeking small, mindful resets, not as a medical cure or guaranteed route to longevity. Always check with a licensed clinician before ingesting iodine preparations, or if you have thyroid or endocrine concerns, are pregnant, or nursing. Stop immediately for any adverse symptoms and seek care when needed. If you felt the image at the start, the apple as a broom and the pilot light waiting to be relit, carry that image into your week. Tend your hearth with attention. Small, precise actions done with respect compound into steady warmth over time. If you try this 7-day experiment, like this video, subscribe for more practical lineage work, and come back to report your one-line result at week's end. Keep the pilot light steady.